Okay, welcome back to What She Says Sports, everybody. I don't know if y'all can see me because it looks like my camera's not popping up on the screen. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. I think I see the problem. All right. I think I might know what it is. Let's see. Maybe I don't know what it is. Oh, let's see. Welcome back. I hope y'all are having a good evening. Hell. I think my camera's confused. I think my camera's confused from earlier today. It's like, did we switch? Yeah. Let's see. I guess we'll just do it like this. All right. So my camera's a little confused, so we just gonna let this roll out like it is. Hey everybody, welcome back. welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to What She Said Sports. All right, so it's been a few hours since the game. Now, some people said the game, the Browns and the Bills were a devastating loss. But to be honest with you, that's not the case. It was devastating in the fact that we lost Quinshon Judkins, right? And Shedeur Sanders was asked about Quinshon Judkins. I read that he had a dislocated ankle and a broken fibula. So that's his leg and his ankle. So I don't even remember the play that happened on, but it looks like he gone for an extended period of time. Kind of like when, I guess the guy, Tyreek Hill for Miami, when that guy dislocated his knee. Well, Quinshon dislocated his ankle. So it's a lengthy recovery process. Plus, he broke his leg. That's why his leg was in a, I guess you could say like in a cast. So he gonna be gone. That's the devastating part to me. The game itself, aside from the Cleveland, the action, the excitement in the game, all of that was good. The game was exciting, to be honest with you. We're not talking about the win-loss. We're not talking about the sabotage. We know that that's there. But to just like hone in on the action in the game. There were plays where Shedeur Sanders was seen blocking for his other teammates trying to make a play. He was actually juking on certain plays. There's at least 2 run plays that he have there. Just trying to get it done, right, within the game plan. Kevin Stefanski has a game plan. Shedeur has to be within that game plan. A lot of people were talking about why Shedeur didn't air it out. Apparently, the game plan wasn't called for that, right? Again, Stefanski is still in control. To everybody's dismay, it's still Stefanski game plan. Yes, Shedeur has a sleeve. He can change up things. But notice they had him throwing a lot of short passes. Now, people like to say that Kevin Stefanski plays an ultra-conservative game. I don't think that that's what it is. Stefanski is hell-bent on breaking down an elite quarterback, whether it's Baker Mayfield, Shedeur Sanders, hell, anybody, Deshaun Watson. He's intent on breaking them down to a check down king. That's just what it is. He's a horrible coach. Now, some people like to say he's dumb. He's not dumb. He's a bad coach. He's not a good coach at all. That's number one. And number two, he thinks he's slick. And what do I mean by that? Stefanski thinks he's slick and he can get away with rigging these games. And why does he think that? Because he's been getting away with rigging every game that Shedeur Sanders has played in. Why would he stop now? There's been nobody to say, hey, bro, you can't do that. What you have seen is people slap him on the wrist, which means that's why you didn't see the Wildcats. That's why you didn't see the Wildcat play, because he went and found another way to do it. Now, everybody's calling out 68 and 72. Everybody on the internet is going through those plays and calling out how these guys sold out their own team. Now, I've never been inside an NFL locker room, but hell, I was a damn Girl Scout, and I've done group projects before and done, group activities. Normally, when you're sold out by people on the inside, it's better. It's not a problem. It's not okay. It's if you're in a locker room and you have 2 players intentionally losing games when everybody's out here doing well, it's friction, right? So I don't even know how the Browns managed to keep the peace, knowing that 68 and 72 are selling out games. Now, this is the question I have. I'm not shocked that those same two players, the right tackle and the left tackle, are selling out the game because it's not their first time either. Their job is to make sure that the Browns don't win, whether they trigger penalties, right? Whether they trigger penalties or something else, right? Shedeur had a good run today. They triggered a 15-yard penalty, or they negated that run, I think, with a holding call. It's always something like that. So Stefanski, no consequences for him setting up and rigging these games and these plays. No consequences for 72 and 68. Now, pay attention. When they were calling out Joel Botonio and Jack Conklin, the right guard and the left guard. See, that was the interior. They got called out. What happened? Conklin went MIA. They left Joel out there and stopped talking him up, right? You see him doing the right thing on a run block pass for 35 for one of the running backs, right? Why is it for the last two games consistently, people have been calling out 68 and 72, and there's been no reaction to either of them being benched? I looked at the depth chart today. There's three other linemen that they can go to. And don't forget, Cornelius Lucas was actually brought in to replace Jack Conklin. The media isn't asking Stefanski about that, right? The media isn't asking Stefanski, well, why did you cut the lineman who protected last week? Why did you put him on waivers? See, they don't ask the questions that need to be asked. It makes it feel like the media just accept whatever the product puts out. But the product is a rigged product. And the fans not having it. And they let their feelings be known when they thought Shedeur was being taken out of the game, all in the name of cruelty and a wildcat. But actually, Shedeur was injured. Now, I went and looked to see what happened. And again, it won't tell you how it happened. It just told you he had a really bad laceration. When we saw Shedeur's hand, somebody's foot was moving past it. Like as if somebody stepped on his foot and kept it pushing. Nobody will go back to that. Nobody will go back to it. See, there are things that happen in the game that they push past, right? So Shedeur had a very, very happy demeanor in his press conference, and he should have. Let's take a listen when he's talking about Quinshon Judkins.
Me and Quinshon was in the room talking yesterday till like 11:30, just about life, just about everything, because the type of person he is, and I know he been through a lot, and just building that bond with the rookie class, like having that be the new energy, and kind of maintain on track, stay on track with everything. So knowing that he went down with that, it was definitely sad. It was definitely sad because I'm like, backside, I can't throw this slant. They covering it. They in like two. I can't throw this slant. He heavy inside. So, yeah. So that was my only option. That was my option with throwing it. So I feel bad because like I threw it, But yeah. Truthfully, yeah, it hurts. It hurts. It really hurt that Quinshon was in the room talking yesterday till like 11.
Quinshon on the field because they work so well together. If you notice, he was telling you they're close. I guess they are roommates when they are away or they have to go to the hotel. They're together. We've seen pictures with them multiple times, right? So, in this one game, it's like they tried to hurt Shedeur and Quinshon, right? Again, the extremes that the Browns are going through to lose games, it's just crazy. Now, somebody I was talking to was saying, I think they let Kevin Stefanski just hang himself. You know how the people say, give him enough rope, he'll hang himself. I'm like, yeah, but I could see that, but I also see the damage, right? Whereas the fans are locked in with Shedeur. Now, here's what happened immediately after the game. The media, the little media types, tried to take to X and start talking about some interceptions. You know what people were saying in the comments? Screw them interceptions. We went toe-to-toe with the Bills. As if the fans wouldn't realize that's the MVP. Shedeur is holding his own against the MVP. I'm like, yeah, they should be happy, right? No, you didn't get to win, but guess what? You didn't lose the game either. I mean, think the other players are jaded. I think the rookies, the vets are jaded. I think the rookies have so much passion because they just came from college. They ready to ball out. They want to get it done. This is their dream. And for the rookies, they see everybody hanging back. They know 68 and 72 are not doing their job. They know people are trying to lose. They don't let that stop them. They put up a good fight. They can go into their Christmas holiday season as rookies in the NFL, first Christmas as an NFL rookie, and know you went toe-to-toe with the Bills. The Bills have a really good defense. The Bills have a really good defense. You can't take that away from them. But Shedeur Sanders was the leading rusher for the game. Put up better numbers than Josh Allen. People like, well, Shedeur was sacked. So was Josh Allen. A lot of quarterbacks get sacked. And they're like, he's holding on to the ball too long. So there's people actively going around. I think Boog reposted it. Boog reposted a clip by Chef Z when he was like, I hate when people keep saying Shedeur's holding the ball too long. In the clip, you can see number 68 falling on the ground. And of course, what do you think is happening? Shedeur's being pressured. So Stefanski is not dumb. He think he's slick because he's been getting away with rigging these games. People on X are talking about he rigs the games every week. People talking about 68 and 72 belly flopping for multiple games. So understand this. People know. The fans see it. They know. They know. So, I don't know what the Browns themselves intend to do, but this is what people need to understand. And I mean to the little media types. Here's what the media types need to understand. That little stunt y'all pulled in the draft to try to say Shedeur wasn't good. You could get away with it because people in the NFL didn't know Shedeur like that, even though I felt like they should have. And we were like, that's a lie, right? But see, now they see for themselves that Shedeur and the rest of these rookies can go toe-to-toe. And you want to celebrate Harold Fanning Jr., but you don't celebrate Shedeur, the one throwing him the ball. It's not a coincidence. You don't want to celebrate Shedeur. Understand this. We don't give a damn if you don't want Shedeur to be your quarterback. Just because you don't want Shedeur to be your quarterback or you want to get somebody else in the draft, we don't care. It does not negate his skill set. That's what they did in the draft. Because we don't want you. You're a fifth round. No. And guess what? There's going to be some blowback from that. It might not be today. But the question will always linger. It's obvious Shedeur just went toe-to-toe with Josh Allen, put up better numbers than Josh Allen, and actually better production than Josh Allen. The Browns actually were 24-23. Kevin Stefanski should be expecting his gift basket from the Buffalo Bills at any moment now because he gifted them game. He robbed the Browns of multiple touchdowns. Do you really think it's the coincidence that when Shedeur was getting ready to score, somebody stepped on his finger and thought they broke it? Why? So he could get out the game. People don't want to admit that that's what's going on. You know how I know? Because that's what happened to Anthony Richardson. The same thing, his peaking. Because it's his throwing hand. Shedeur even said, it's my throwing hand. And it was like, and he said, if I couldn't throw, I would have came back out. They were hoping he couldn't throw the ball no more. I told you, pain will enter the conversation. It already did. You don't get a laceration on your hand like that. And it was nasty looking. You don't get that because you hit your own hand on your helmet. No. When you fell on the ground, somebody with their cleat stepped on your fingers. And I know, it's football and things happen, right? But it's not a coincidence, the timing of when this happened. It's not a coincidence at all. It's not a coincidence. They don't even talk about how it happened. They love replays in the NFL. We saw one. When we were live, we saw one and they were showing it. And I saw the guy's foot. Never again. Never again. And what's sad is because Kevin Stefanski is allowed to rig these games. This is coming from higher up. Yeah. See, I said, as long as the corruption continues, as long as Stefanski is there, we're going to see just how high it goes. This is obvious. For one, the rigging is obvious. Two, it's illegal. And the fact that he's getting a pass to continue tells you He's getting his orders from higher up. And the fact that 68 and 72 are working with Kevin Stefanski or working with each other tells you that they think they safe as well. There are people in jail. There are people that have been indicted for fixing and rigging games against their own teams. That's what we saw today. The sabotage was by any means necessary. I'm gonna mess up your finger. Hell, I done took out your damn running back. But here's the thing, right? The running back room is stacked. The running back room is stacked. One of the biggest tells Kevin Stefanski had today that the game was rigged, and it was him that rigged it. He was actually sabotaging Shedeur with excessive personnel changes at running back, which is how I know the room is stacked, and tight end and wide receiver. So he could never get in rhythm. So he could never get comfortable. But Shedeur is used to throwing to multiple receivers. So that didn't work against him. But he switched up all of the running backs. In the run game, the run protection, it isn't good. That's why our running backs can get less than 2 yards a carry. So Stefanski made adjustments, wide receiver, excessively. Adjustments, running back, excessively. But he refuses to make adjustments to 72. 72 is 68. And there are other people to go to. It's like 72 is trying to get himself kicked out of the game. And Stefanski refuses to bench him. Why? Because he still needed him. Because you saw what happened at the end. He didn't block for that screen they was trying to run. He didn't block number 21. And they had just ran a similar play before where 21 was the guy targeting the running back. So 72 was supposed to throw him the right tackle. He didn't do nothing. He didn't even push him out the way. And that was it. Notice how much Shedeur was pressured on the last 2 minutes of the game. Because they know he can score. They know he can score. And it's just never going to be anything that my mind thinks is normal to cheat your own quarterback. It will never be normal. And I notice people are trying to normalize it. And because they can't, they want to run over till he's holding the ball too long. But thankfully, there are fans on the internet with computers and technology. They're showing you 68 and 72 or blowing coverages, assignments, missing blocks, etc. They're showing you this. Now, if the media can say Shedeur is holding on to the ball too long, guess what else they also know? They should have looked at the footage to know that 68 and 72 is blowing coverage. If I can see it, if you can see it, if all the fans are talking about it, but the media is not talking about it, but talking about Shedeur holding the ball too long. They know what the problem is. And that's what's disgusting about all of this. The media, just like in the draft, is in on it. The media knows 72 and 68 are incompetent. So does the Browns organization. So does the owner, Haslam, who I think I saw on the ground before the game started. Everybody knows, but nobody will do anything. Well, thankfully, Shedeur can get past it. He couldn't get the W, but I don't even think he's supposed to get them a W like that. Every W he gets is for himself and for the rest of the players that ball out. In other words, the organization don't need to benefit. Why? Because they don't appreciate his skill set. He even told them in the press conference, stop trying to pit players against each other. We're trying to build a system of unity here. A rookie shouldn't have to tell that to the media, but the media is messy. So a rookie got to do it. Excuse me. A rookie has to do it. So I took a poll because Shedeur played damn good. He, that's why he was so happy in his press conference. What did Jameis Winston tell him? Just focus on the wins. What did I say about that? You celebrate everything. You celebrate every moment. At one point, you went out there and beat the Vegas Raiders in your daddy's shoes against the team that was supposed to draft you. Check. Celebrate. Tonight, you celebrate for going toe-to-toe and putting better numbers up than the MVP who makes $330 million. It's okay. It's not okay that your team took you down. That's never okay. But that's not a battle you can fight. Shedeur knows when to pick his battles. He has the spirit of discernment. Can he really do anything about Kevin Stefanski, KT Levingston, and Cam Robinson all rigging the game? No. It don't matter if they point shaving. It don't matter if they gambling. It don't matter if it's racism. It is bribery. It don't matter what it is. Shedeur can't change it. If everybody sees it and nobody does anything about it, can Shedeur change it? No. All Shedeur can do is what he did. Go out there and ball out. Blocking, tackling, juking, running it yourself, the leading rusher. People want to complain about 2-tip interceptions. Don't nobody care about 2-tip interceptions when you got a rookie who was pushed down in the draft to number 144, who should have been number 2 or number 1 overall, if we're being honest, going toe-to-toe with the MVP. That's what people cared about. They really held their own. And here's the thing. Yeah, they could have won. Josh Allen knows that. I saw Josh Allen's face. Don't forget, Josh Allen's married to a black woman. Congratulations, I heard they're having a baby. Josh Allen is married to a black woman. So you know what he knows? What black people go through. That's one of the things. When you marry somebody, you have an interracial relationship, you're going to learn. You're going to learn what the other side go through. He knows they had him on the ropes. He knows that Stefanski took the team down so they can advance. He knows this, as does the media and everybody else, and probably the rookies, the Hungry Dawgs. Man, I bet they talk. There's nothing they could do. Why? Because it's not new. How many times have they cheated Lamar? And I said, Shedeur's career path and Lamar's going to be the same. I might have to let you play, but I don't have to let you win. And that's what you're seeing. So the game was exciting. Take it for what it was. It's nothing any of us can do except for fans. We can call out what it is. But beyond that, what else can we do? Right? What else can we do if Haslam refuses to hold Stefanski accountable? If the NFL refuses to hold him accountable? And all of the people who own the space of federal workplace rules and regulations compliance does nothing. What can we do? We can just call it out and let God do the rest. That's it. But we celebrate Shedeur because he went toe-to-toe with the MVP. And I know he enjoyed and had fun, and he hates Quishan is injured, but I was happy to see that Andrew Berry really has brought in some good people, because that running back room is stacked. It's stacked. Number 38, number 35, I don't know what the hell happened to Jerome Ford, but he's not even on the depth chart. I don't know. They got a Q by Wyatt Teller's name. They have a Q by Dylan Sampson. You know what that tells me? Dylan Sampson, y'all know he the other running back. He was after Quishan. They moved. So here's the thing. They moved Dylan Sampson out the way after he scored. They got rid of Jerome Ford when he was doing well. They thought the 3rd and the 4th string was going to be trash. So they must have sent Jerome Ford maybe to the practice squad. I got to look that up. And they elevated the Travion Williams. He's good. But the guy, Raheem Sanders, dog. Corley, 83, dog. Shout out to number 26. He was like, y'all not going to pump me today. He went out there and was doing all kind of stuff. Was he on a mismatch with targeted? I guess you could say they had him on a Amazon of a tight end. Of course it was a mismatch. They knew it was a mismatch. People are calling out the defense now. People are talking about how the defense intentionally didn't go all out. Y'all gonna keep doing this, and the fans gonna catch on and realize, like people on the inside, oh, this is a rigged product. And is it just the Browns? Oh, you know what? It's not just the Browns. It's also the Ravens or any other team that they don't want to advance. And look at how easily it's being done. And look at how there's no consequences. So all we can do is bring awareness. It's up to the NFL to decide if they want the paying public and the public that spends their time to make their product grow to believe that it's rigged, because that's what they see. It is ridiculous for the media to try to tell the fans what to believe and what they see. It was amazing how they ran to the internet and was trying to talk about Shedeur holding the ball too long. You can hang that up. Because just that little exchange with Dylan coming out there for a second and the fans booing, you're not going to get these fans to move off of Shedeur. Fine. Go on and draft somebody else. Is that what you want to do? And everybody that's keeping tally on, oh, the Browns got a 5th round pick, and after today with the Titans winning, they have a 3rd round pick. I'm like, they had a 2nd round pick and didn't do shit with it. So, and I think some of these people just like to speculate endlessly with no point in sight. If you've been a Browns fan for a long time, you likely have seen every scenario. And to constantly be hopeful after these people have given you no hope and rigging their own games and refusing to fire the coach or bench the 68 and 72 who's rigging the games, then you out of your damn mind for expecting something different when the result and the actions are the same. That is the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing and expecting a different result. These people won 3 games last year. They won 3 games this year. They had the number 2 pick last year and traded it. Guess what they're going to do with that pick? They're going to trade it. And you know what they're going to trade it for? Number 1 overall 2027. Because guess who coming out of school? The Mannn kid. And somebody and I ex were having a dialogue. And we were talking about the Mannn kid. And they were like, yeah, I get you saying they want to get the Mannn kid next year. But I don't think the Mannn kid is that good. I think Shedeur is the better quarterback. I'm like, I know Shedeur the better quarterback, but that ain't going to change their damn mind. If you went through all of the trouble in the draft to push Shedeur down as far as possible so he couldn't get the QB1, and then when he get the QB1, you rig every single game, even before QB1, win or lose, all the games are rigged. Sometimes he just overcome, but they make it difficult. And it's everybody says it's always something they do to sabotage. If I'm doing all of that to make people think you're not good, I don't want to. I don't value you. And that's why the Browns media, in terms of social media, is always talking about Myles Garrett or Carson Swessinger or the rookie Quinshon Judkins or Harold Fanning Jr. They think it's going to hurt Shedeur feelings for them not to mention him. You think Shedeur believes he's wanted in Cleveland? Why the heck would he think that? When Kevin Stefanski spent every waking hour of his day at work, prove it to Shedeur. He don't think that because he's going out and enjoying the game. This kid has been celebrated his whole life. He don't need your approval. And just because you dumb and you don't want him, or you want to get somebody else and you know they less talented because you like their family, that's on you. That gives you no right to say Shedeur isn't talented, and y'all not going to get away with that this time. You got away with it in a draft, but you ain't getting away with it this time because it's about 14 million people. That's what you know. And what you saw today at the game, booing Dylan, is a spackle of people that's going to let you know. We don't give a shit if you don't want Shedeur as your quarterback. We don't even take the time to question your intelligence. I know for a fact you want the Mannn kid. People talking about right after this game. I think Shedeur going to have to make room for Dante Moore. I'm like, once again, was Haslam at Oregon or was he at Ohio State in the University of Texas? Okay. So you was going to have to sit tight and wait on the Mannn kid. Shedeur Sanders is a franchise QB, and his price tag, unfortunately, on his skill set is $975,000. They're not going to let him go nowhere, and neither is the NFL, because what you saw today was a rookie go toe-to-toe with the MVP, and if it wasn't rigged, that rookie and his cohorts would have won. 24-23. Facts. And every time they got in position to score, instead of the Wildcats, it was something else stepping on his finger. And all other kind of foolish ridiculousness, not blocking. But he doing everything. So you don't get to negate his skill set because you prefer the Mannn kid. Who cares? Good luck with that shit. I hope you get what you want. We ain't trying to force Shedeur to Cleveland. And this is why I said Shedeur is in the wrong league. This is precisely why I said Shedeur Sanders is too talented to be dealing with people who don't want him and don't value his elite skill set. I said it today. If this was any other pro league, he would be up here tearing it up, balling out. So who cares that you want another quarterback? He's still franchise. That's what they don't want to accept. And there's nothing you could say to fans on any platform to make us unsee what the hell we have seen. That's what they don't understand. So I asked the question after Shedeur's spectacular play today. And no, I'm not going to ask and talk about was it perfect? Who the hell was? If you want to talk about Shedeur being stacked, then I'm going to need you to talk about Josh Allen. And I'm going to need you to go Josh Allen rookie year and see how many times he was sacked. See, you don't just get to have these conversations to try to disparage Shedeur like you did in the draft. The shit ain't going to work. There's no justification for Shedeur not being franchised on one of these 32 NFL teams other than racism. Because you don't want 17, 18, 19, and 20, and because you stopped him from being 17 in the draft. Just like you got pushback at that game. You're going to get pushback from 14 million fans. That's going to revolt against you. They know Shedeur is franchised, and you can't tell them no different. So I asked the question after the game. I said, should Shedeur Sanders be QB1 versus Pittsburgh next game after Christmas, December 28th? Why did I ask this question? Because the narrative was already being pushed that they wanted to bench Shedeur and let somebody else play for the last 2 games. Don't know who the hell the somebody else is, but I know who the hell it ain't. If you try to put Dylan on that field for these last 2 games, even if it's for 5 seconds, it's going to be better than that. Because today was totally unexpected. And they told you what it was when they thought they knew what was going on. So try it. So that alone ought to make them think twice. And the fact that this young man went toe-to-toe, I don't give a damn if the media don't say it, and held his own against the MVP in a $330 million, he knows his barometer. His ceiling is higher. So running out and trying to go get Dante Moore because he black. If I'm Dante Moore, I don't even want to be bothered with this, but I ain't Dante Moore. I don't know what he gonna do. But if they think he that good, then he should be going to Vegas. Whoever got the number 1 pick. And Tennessee with the number 2 pick, it don't matter because they already got a quarterback. Hell, Cleveland with the number 3 pick after today, they got how many quarterbacks? They already said they can't move Deshaun. They waiting on a Mannn kid. They got Shedeur. So what they gonna do with Dylan? Because they know he ain't it. We know that for a fact. And Stefanski should be fired for even bringing Dylan over. For even suggesting him. All those other quarterbacks out there, and you went and got an undrafted free agent who the fans don't want to ever see again. So 95% of people said yes. 174 people answered the question right away. Thank y'all so much. It was a 3-hour poll, I guess, and it was 95% said yeah. They want to see Shedeur play against the Steelers. And then only 5% said no. We're going to always have some haters in the house. So understand this. The implications for Shedeur playing and starting against the Steelers. What happened today? Vegas had Shedeur and the Browns losing by 9.5 points. Technically, they didn't lose. But since all of the rigging happened, guess what? They only the game was, I think, how did well-off media say it? They barely lost. I'm going to keep saying it that way. They barely lost. So if I barely lost to the Bills, I'm probably going to go out here and barely lose to the Steelers. Shedeur just out here showing everybody up, and he's not even trying. He don't even talk about the past. He probably don't even want to think about it because it's traumatic. It's traumatic for someone to have been abused the way he was. And there is no other way to describe it because that's what it was. Whether it was emotional or whether it was physical when he got to Cleveland. Dehumanizing the young man is what it was. So I wouldn't want to look back either. And he don't have to because he's already having and racking up good games. So if they let Shedeur play and he barely lost against the MVP, is there an MVP from last year in Pittsburgh? No. So he's going to go out there and ball out and they're going to rig the game again. See, they worry about wins and losses. And maybe because they trying to get as high as possible on the draft. But understand this, they're not tanking. When you tank, you get rid of people. They didn't get rid of nobody. They won't even bench 68 and 72. And they should suspend them or fire them immediately, expeditiously tonight. They should even be allowed to collect their belongings, because somebody needs to investigate to see if they gambling together, and then see if they were bribed by their head coach to throw the game. That's what should be happening. In a normal course of activity where everybody sees the game is rigged with the head coach and 2 players that everybody can identify, there should immediately be an investigation. But this happened last week, so that investigation should have already started. And the fact that it hasn't, it tells you that they have protection. That's what it tells you, that they have protection. And that's sad, because it means that this is a rigged product. The Browns are a rigged product, and they're scamming customers into believing they're coming to a competitive game. And when the game does get competitive, when the Browns can win, the head coach makes sure they can lose. And this has happened so many times. The question is, how many times has this happened? For how many years has Stefanski been rigging the Browns game? Let's be honest. Going out and getting a new O-line with a head coach that sends a punt snapper out there to, instead of kicking the ball, you tell him to get the ball and throw it to the stand. Who does that? You going for a field goal. I'm looking at the kicker. The kicker like, what the hell is going on? So even the kicker didn't know. So number 13 decided to take it upon himself to not kick a field goal, to take the ball, not throw it to nobody to score, not put the team in position to score, to throw the ball away so they don't get 3 points. That's the kind of sabotage that we're seeing with 2 games left on the roster. We're seeing people step on Shedeur Sanders' finger. What the hell are we going to see versus Pittsburgh? And nobody will do anything. So that tells you it's a rigged product. And the people doing the rigging are protected from being fired, are protected from consequences. So I guess it's going to be up to the fans to demand some consequences. Otherwise, ain't nothing going to happen. But how long has it been going on? See, the longer you let malfeasance go on, now people need to start looking and go, well, let me see. You've been here since 2020. Have you been cheating like this since 2020? Is that why you only have 2 winning seasons out of 6? Was that the goal? There's a lot of questions that should be asked here, but that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. But we did our part. We did our part. Shout out to Mama Tia. It said, Merry Christmas, Nola. The chat celebrate you. It said, enjoy the holiday season. Stefanski is full of junk, skunk. Thank you. And enjoy your Christmas too. Thank you, Mama Tia. I appreciate you. So, that's what it is, guys. Our quarterback from Colorado is having his first Christmas as an NFL starting quarterback, and he balled out and went toe-to-toe with the Bills, right? What does that mean? He can go toe-to-toe, goddamn it, with anybody. I don't even know if there's anybody he can't go toe-to-toe with, right? And if he ever gets the opportunity to ball out, he going to set this league on fire. But what people need to understand is the NFL knows that. They are fully aware of Shedeur Sanders. In fact, the Browns have said it multiple times. We know exactly who he is. We know he's going to come in. He's going to work hard. We know he's a good kid. But the agenda is still the agenda. All right, so I'm going to head over to the comments to see what y'all are saying. Mama Tia, thank you. Enjoy your Christmas if you hop off before we end. I truly appreciate it. So, yeah, it's not a devastating loss because they barely lost. The only devastating loss is Quashawn Junkins being injured because people like him, and we hope he recovers well. Because I guess you could say a dislocated ankle and a broken leg, that's a lot. That's a lot for that young man. It said if they had someone like Mata, they would have won it for Cleveland. It said, but Stefanski probably would not have appreciated him either. Right, and that's the point, right? The head coach doesn't appreciate people that can help to win. Hey, how you doing, Miss Pamela? How you doing? How you doing? It said, when will Kevin Stefanski get what he deserves? Now, that's a good question, see? That's a good question, and we don't know the answer to that question. Surviving the sabotage, number 12. Right, Ramon. I said, what did I say? I said it's surviving the Cleveland Browns. That's what it should be. Because the question is, how long the sabotage been going on? It says Shedeur was running the ball like Michael Vick. The fans were hilarious for booing Dylan from going in on one place. The fans took him out quick, right? Because, yeah, they was going to get it. Now he know you can't put him out there. So if you thought somebody stepping on Shedeur hand and breaking his finger was smart, no, thank God that didn't happen. But understand, that was his throwing hand. They knew what they was doing. They knew what they was doing. So that's why I said Shedeur got to be careful. I also said when Coach Prime is in the building, Shedeur gets to ball out. What did we see today? He get cheated regardless, but at least he got to ball out. So Coach Prime and Carucci need to keep on coming to these last two games. And Shedeur got to keep himself safe. Because best believe, they trying to hurt you. It say, hey, chat, how you doing? It said, Mannn was watching the game, and the Browns score first. And I was like, man, Prime is here because they let Shedeur play. There you go. There you go. I'm telling you, that's what it is. And Stefanski probably hates it. He probably hates it. But that's what it is. The first thing I said was, this is what happened with in the building. In the building. Hey, how you doing, Roger? Welcome back. Welcome back. Happy holidays, everybody, too. Just in case y'all rapid gifts are out running around. Hey, Tina, how you doing? It said, praying for Quinshon Jenkins in a full recovery. Amen. Amen. Hey, TK, how you doing? It said, 12 was great today. He was. Have y'all watched the highlights yet? The highlights are good. The highlights are good. It shows Shedeur out here juking, running, and then he was in there, and I guess they thought they had him, and he escaped. I'm like, man, Shedeur out here balling. Yeah, he looked good. He looked real good. I'm very happy for him. I'm proud of him, and I'm happy for him. It was a good game. Shedeur was robbed of leading the game-winning drive to win by his own coach, right? And that's what we're talking about, right? Like, how long is this going to continue? Like, y'all going to do this his entire career? Is that what you think you're going to do his entire career? Understand the difference between Lamar and the difference between Shedeur is about 14 million people. Understand that? Understand that. I ran into somebody did an interview, and I told y'all, I asked them that they think Lamar was being cheated, and they said no. And I asked them that they know Shedeur, and they didn't. So I knew that wasn't somebody that was like tapped in. That's okay. That's okay, because you can see God makes it so Shedeur can wait well. He thriving. He finished this game smiling. He should feel celebrated. He did a really good job. We know his family gonna celebrate him. We know his family gonna celebrate him. We know his core teammates. That's cool. And they didn't even let Myles Garrett get the damn sack. I think he need a half a sack, don't he? They didn't even let him break the record. That's crazy, right? I don't even know how that happened. I don't even know how that happened. It said 68 and 72 need to be exposed. It said they are trying to get 12 injured. Facts. And they probably the reason somebody stepped on his hand. It wouldn't surprise me because, again, they showed number 68 falling down on him tonight. Again. I'm like, this dude is just, this is crazy for this to be happening like this. But that's the cycle that we're in. No accountability. But understand, cycles change. Cycles change. And people, everybody got recorded. Everybody's talking about this, right? And one thing doesn't change. Shedeur Sanders is QB1. I don't care on what team. He's franchise. It says Stefanski is a bum. He needs to be banned from football. I totally agree. Hey, Miss Anyway, how you doing? I just see the letter T. Were you trying to tell us something? It said, why haven't the owner stopped it? Because that's probably who's protecting. That's probably who's protecting Stefanski and 68 and 72. Why would you let somebody tear down your brand like that? You would not. You would not unless they're doing something for you. And the best guess I have, remember, Shedeur was going to be the number 2 pick to Cleveland. They say they still had Deshaun, right? Why did they say that? Because they didn't want to get Shedeur for $46 million, knowing the Mannn kid was expected to come out in 2026. But plans change, or that's what they say, that the plans are changing. I told y'all, if the Browns can finagle the first pick, they might get that kid to come out. What game did I tell you to watch? The game with Michigan and UT. Did they play? Did they play yet? I said watch that game and see how it goes, but I don't know when they play. So, People said he came out recently and said he was staying in school. I'm like, I don't believe nothing till it happened with them, because there is a reason. I think the only other reason they're trying to get, they have like the number 3 pick. I think they're trying to get as high as possible to trade with someone to get number 1 overall for 2027. Because they already showed us they was going to try to rig the Heisman and give it to him this year, and he didn't even deserve it. And they didn't care what nobody thought. So they don't care what nobody think. They don't want Shedeur to be the long term because they have other plans. That's just what it is. That's really what it is. And it's a shame because you thought you had plans this year, but that didn't work out. Now you think you have plans for a later date. Who said that's going to work out? So you're going to shun and kick and abuse Shedeur because you want somebody else. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. All this talk about Dante Moore. You ain't getting Dante Moore unless you're going to stack 3 elite black quarterbacks on the same squad, and you crazy. And you're not doing that, because if you get Dante Moore at number 3 or 2 or 1, you're going to have to abandon your effort for the Mannn kid, because you can't pay Dante 40 or 50 guaranteed $1 million and move off of him in 1 year. It don't work like that. So they're not getting nobody, and people don't listen. Heather came out and said after Ohio State lost, we can't move off of the shine. We can't move him. Why? Because Hazard was at Ohio State versus Texas. So I'm not getting neither one of those quarterbacks. I'm going to have to wait. Do y'all hear Julian Sands' name right now? No. And I don't even know if he coming out. But the point is, they shunned Shedeur in 25 because they was waiting on the Mannn kid at 26. They shunned Shedeur at 26 because they want to get the Mannn kid at 27. Or unless they can convince the kid to go number 1 overall coming out of school. And I don't know how that's going to work out. People jumping ship from UT for a reason. And it ain't to go to Texas A&M because they just lost. I don't know what's going on. But something's going on. It says Stefanski needs to be held accountable for rigging games. I totally agree. It says 68 and 72 sold out Shedeur. Yep. Oh, everybody see it. Everybody see it, Ramon. Everybody talking about it. It says Stefanski needs to be held accountable for criminal activity and rigging games. Yes, it is an indictable offense. I totally agree. 68 of the Browns tried to get Shedeur to go watch the play. We've seen it. Good evening, Amber. How you doing? Owner has nothing to gain right now from winning. If they lose, they get more draft picks. So that's what people say they're doing. And that ain't tanking. That's just losing game. It said, Future has a long memory by Stefanski. It said, Kevin just be calling anything. Not a kicker or QB. Yeah. Help me understand that. I was like, what the hell is going on? And when I went back and looked at the replay and I could see the kicker's face, like, what the hell are you doing? So Stefanski so he can't run the Wildcat no more. So on the field goal, he tried to turn the snapper, not the kicker, the one that hold the ball, the placeholder kicker or whatever, the snapper. He tried to turn the snapper. He wasn't even trying to turn him into a quarterback. The dude threw the ball so far into the stands, so they didn't score 3 points. If that's what you're going to do, not to score 3 points, I mean, what the hell are you going to do next week? So they didn't score 3 points. Stepping on Shedeur finger. They wasn't even faking. They wasn't even trying to connect with nobody in the end zone. Dude, I think, hit one of the cameramen. It's like Stefanski told him, just get that ball and throw it as far away as possible. So they don't kick a field goal. Is anybody holding Stefanski accountable for that? This is the kind of stuff I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. So that's what y'all been doing all the time, faking? It's a rigged product. And it ain't one that Shedeur can do nothing about. And fans can just let their disapproval be known. Talk about rigged. I have never seen a snapper take the ball and just throw it away by the cameraman. You didn't want to get 3 points that bad? So you didn't want to win. Oh, okay. Okay. So what we doing out here if you didn't want to win? If you don't want to win, what are we doing out here? Just crazy. And nobody told us Stefanski accountable for that. And it tells you that there are certain players that they can use. So here's my question. Do they get a text message? Do they get a note inside their locker? Does a random third-party stranger come up and deliver a coded message? What is it? Because KT Levingston knows when to trigger a penalty. Cam knows when to foul on Shedeur. The kicker knows, I'm not the kicker, the snapper knows when to pick up the ball and not let the kicker kick it and throw it. It could have been a bad snap. Why you just didn't let it be a bad snap? Why do you have to be so obvious that you get the snapper to take the ball and throw it to the sideline? What was that about? So you don't get 3 points. For showing the interviews. They showed Shedeur's interview was like at 42,000. Stefanski's was like at 12,000. I said that ought to tell the Browns everything they need to know. These people have protection because they should all be fired and roped up and investigated and wearing orange jumpsuits. There's a company. If you study business, you study scandals in business. There's a company called Enron. Used to be called Enron. This happened. Ooh, Lord, it's not a new thing. This is when people were shredding documents, and companies still do shred documents, but not as much. And this was an orchestrated, fraudulent scheme involving the people at the top, and it was taking advantage of the people that worked there at the bottom, and they were cheating and rigging stuff. And a whistleblower. That's what it's gonna take. A whistleblower came forward and told a news station or somehow the truth about what was going on came out. Understand this. This was so well thought out that they even chose certain people to take the foul. But guess what? Even that got exposed. Do you know what the higher up did to himself when the truth came out and it was time for him to go to jail? He ended his time on earth because he knew about it. And then the people under him knew about it. And they hired accountants to cook the books to take the file. And it took one person to tell, and it just blew it open. And for some reason, that kept coming to my mind today when we were live, because that's what's going to happen in Cleveland. It's too many people over there. It's people betting off of this fraudulent activity. Oh, you can bet against Browns because Browns ain't gonna win. Look at how hard they tried not to get 3 points. Look at how they tried to hurt Shedeur. Look at how they hurt Quashana. Look at how they rotate everybody else but the 2 O-linemen that's helping them to commit fraud. Point shaving. That's what they were doing when the snapper picked up the ball and threw it to the cameraman on the side who was kneeling down, who wasn't playing in the game. All of that so they don't get 3 points. They point shaving. You can guess why they point shaving, but doesn't matter. So you don't have to get lost into their motivation. Point shaving is illegal for any reason. There is no justifiable reason for point shaving. And just because you want to get the Mannn kid next year, you don't want to win with Shedeur this year. You think losing games will make Shedeur look like a bad quarterback. It will not. It's not working. And if the fans are willing to boo Dylan, are they really going to be okay with you doing all of this for the Mannn kid and we know he ain't better than Shedeur? Are they going to be okay with you trading Shedeur away? Because that's probably what it's going to come to. Because nobody's going to let you make Shedeur QB2 after going toe-to-toe with the MVP that made $330 million and actually had him on the ropes. And actually the production score is 24-23. Kevin Stefanski's just waiting on his gift basket. For making sure they don't get 3 points, for making sure Shedeur don't get another touchdown. So desperate that we're going to step on his throwing hand. Took out his best receiver. A dislocated ankle and a broken foot. A broken leg. Come the hell on. Everybody can see Stefanski's face when something good would happen. Whether it was number 26 being a dog and balling out on defense. So that tells you the defense is in on it too. That's what it tells you. So everybody knows the games are rigged. Stefanski's rigging the games. 72-68 working together, whether it's with Stefanski and number 13 See, the fact that number 13 came and did what he did, it lets me know that 72 and 68 working together with Stefanski, just like number 13. Enron, the people at the top, they know about it. And a whistleblower will come forward. It's too many people inside that locker room, whether if they get cut or they still work there, can blow the whistle. Wyatt Teller already told us he wasn't injured. And they still have him listed like he got a calf injury. And he already said he ain't injured, but they ain't want to hear him. That's one. There will be others. Whistleblower and the people at the top. They ain't going to be able to handle being exposed. Because they're going to be exposed. This just happening on national TV. The media, the cameraman keeps showing you Stefanski. It was working my nerves last week. But I totally got it again today. I was reminded. Because I saw it before. In the Vegas game, I'm like, damn, the cameraman keep going back to Stefanski. And it happens so much. Hell, we see Stefanski down there the whole game. Whenever something happened, he gets upset and you can see the panic in his face. It's almost as if somebody, and I don't even think they're working with the mafia. I really don't. I think the mafia probably pissed that they rigging the games and they're like, look here, you want to cut us in. The look on Stefanski's face when the Browns score, when Shedeur scores, is one of panic. It's sending the snapper out there to take the ball away from the kicker who was not in on it because he was like, what the hell? And throw it to the side so he don't get 3 points. That's crazy. That's point shaving. And you're doing it on national TV. And you're getting more and more desperate and creative in how you rob your own team of scoring. Somebody said today, Kevin Stefanski gonna get everybody hurt before he leaves, as if he's doing this because he's a disgruntled employee that's on the way out. It's still illegal. I don't give a shit why he doing it. See, I don't care about the motive. I have a few theories of my own. What I care about is the illegality that nobody's doing anything about, that we all can see. That's what I care about. It said it looked like his lineman stepped on his finger. It wouldn't surprise me because that's what happened to Anthony Richardson. And what happened? They stepped on Anthony Richardson's pinky, dislocated his pinky. He couldn't play. Daniel Jones got in. Anthony Richardson never got his job back. Daniel Jones gets injured. They never go back to Anthony Richardson. They go to Phillip Rivers. So they stepped on Anthony Richardson's finger so he don't be QB1, just like Tyrod Taylor lung got punctured, and that's how he lost his job. Did I not say pain? Pain is a part of the strategy to get you out of your QB1 spot, especially if you black. All they doing is criticizing Baker Mayfield. Why do you think they criticizing Baker Mayfield? Because he left Cleveland and he's successful somewhere else. And people are pointing out how there's a cycle of how people consistently attack Baker Mayfield because he's somewhere else. He asked to leave and he left, or he forced his way out. It's a little corrupt around there. It said, love the Shedeur and Q bonding. Me too. It said Shedeur, poor baby, didn't even have time to wash his face before the press conference. I know he still has. I think Shedeur gonna take a shower at home. That's what I was got. I think. What did I say? Take a shower at home. Just go on in there, take the clothes off, and do that quick and get the hell on. Cause I mean, you might be in the shower and somebody might come and fall on you, and I just wouldn't be surprised. That's what they give. I got facial care products at home. I'm just gonna shower at home. He need to get the hell on out of there. And I like that Bucky can be in there filming his press conference. I like that. I like that a lot. It said they think all of their fans stupid. That's what they think. That's what they think. They really think that. That's really what they think. They believe if these minions run to the internet and talk about Shedeur throwing an interception and the fans at the game, the fans watch the game, the fans seeing the ball tip, and what they got to do with Shedeur, that if they talk on that, that's going to make us think Shedeur shouldn't be a franchise. We are not done. But they don't think we their fans, so they're not talking about us. And they ain't talking about us. But we will be standing on their head Christmas week. It said when CP spoke to Shedeur before the game, he told him to watch the catch. I thought he said watch the catch. Okay, then call him back to whisper something to him. This gave me the impression he was pointing out was toxic. It could have been. It could have been. It said the rookies want to win. They shouldn't take that from them. Right. The rookies want to win. See, it ain't just Shedeur. Carson Wentz is out there. He out there getting it. He out there getting it. And y'all saw when Josh Allen fell down into the end zone. Mason Graham was like, I'm gonna get this sack because it's the only way I can get one. So there you go, right? And they was even talking about not giving Myles Garrett. I'm like, so y'all just out here cheat Myles Garrett. That's what it is. So they hold this Shedeur back. They causing the team, they forcing the team to lose, rigging the game so the Browns will lose. And they even holding Myles Garrett back. The whole product is rigged. So why would you do that? What was the point of them getting to the number 2 defense if you was just going to hold them back? Because if Shedeur is good, and there's no more if, Shedeur is good. He's franchised, but we want the Mannn kid. So how do we get out of this? They can't just admit, well, we don't want you. We want to get somebody else. So let's just trade him. Why they can't do that? That's common sense. Common sense said at the end of the goddamn cycle, trade Shedeur to another team and get the Mannn kid. Oh, wait. He don't come out till next year. So I need to hold Shedeur for a whole year. But I can't let him ball out because when the Mannn kid come out, he not that good. We just want to get him because that's who we prefer. Think Jackson Dart all over again. It's the same thing. Destroy Shedeur because I want the Mannn kid. No, the hell you don't. And people not going to let you do it. What you will expose is the Manns. Because that's whose name is associated with everything that happened to Shedeur. You're going to burn their legacy in front of everybody's eyes. We don't care if you want the Mannn kid. You do not get to devalue Shedeur. You can trade Shedeur as a QB1 and he can go somewhere else and ball out. But they seem to have a problem with that. And the fact that they supposedly still attacking Baker Mayfield is crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. But they never suggest trading Shedeur, so they're going to hold him hostage next year. And they're probably going to get another quarterback in the draft and run this stupidity over because they making excuses for Kevin Stefanski, so they want to bring him back to create more torture. Whistleblower. Anytime now, because it's going to happen. It said Dart had 5 sacks today in crickets. Right. I saw his numbers. And I sure did. I saw his numbers. And somebody, I think you're right. It was just straight crickets. That's like Josh Allen. He got sacked, but they don't want to say nothing. They don't want to say a word. Somebody, this was so funny. Somebody said Shedeur Sanders first half stats. Let me say this with y'all because it's funny. They talking about a bum player dropped the ball. I don't know who the hell they was talking about. I don't know. Did y'all see the ball pass this drop today? Let's see. I want y'all to see this because I'm not sure who they talking about. Okay. Let's switch. So if y'all didn't take the poll, feel free to go take it. But 95% of people said Shedeur start next week. Okay, here we go. Here we go. It says Shedeur first half stats. 10 of 13, 109 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 drop by a bum teammate. QBR rating was 94.7, 3 rushes for 35 yards. Clearly on pace for 250 plus yards, 2 passing touchdowns prior to his injury. We'll see if he returns. So this was after Shedeur got injured. So there you go. Somebody said it was a 1 drop by a bum teammate. Oh, I think I know. Remember there was a guy in the end zone, the tight end. Shedeur was jostling the ball around. I think that's what they're talking about. That's the only pass that I think happened in the first half. And I was like, yeah, that was, you had to know it was going to happen. You just had to know it was going to happen. You just had to know it was going to happen. You just had to know. That's a 4th string tight end. They got Harold Fanning Jr., They got all these other people, and they put in the 4th-string tight end to catch a touchdown. And he was doing like this. Seriously, just like this. Just like this with Bob. Again, I still happen to believe Shedeur was in the wrong league. But, you know, we're going to see. I ain't saying he should leave, but I'm just telling you, making his life harder for no reason. I ain't sure it's worth it, but we're going to see. We're going to see, because he did get the opportunity to ball out, but Coach Prime going to have to keep coming up. Now, don't be surprised if Colorado start finding stuff for Coach Prime to do. And I had this question, but it's off season, so I think he's free. I have this question. Can y'all see a place in this world where the NFL would offer Coach Prime a job, air quotes, a job, for the sole purposes of helping Colorado boot Coach Prime out, so Coach Prime don't take no money from over there? He just quit. And they're like, hey, Prime, we need you to, you know, come help us out. You know, maybe be an offensive coordinator, or maybe let him be a head coach on somebody else's team, but they're going to boot out another black coach, believe me. And he like, yeah, and they're like, yeah, we're going to pay you, how much you make over there? $44 million? Yeah, we're going to pay you that much over there. So he's supposed to go, like Mel Tucker did, back to Colorado and say, you know what, I quit, don't worry about the money, bye, I'm gone. And then run over to the NFL. And then what you think gonna happen? Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? Let me know if y'all can see it. Let me know if you can see it, because I can see it. All right. It said Shedeur was a team leading rusher today. Right. That was exciting too. That was exciting for him to be the leading rusher. Shedeur rushed and outpassed the MVP. That's what I'm saying. Shedeur did good. That's why I'm like, I don't give a damn if you want to get somebody else. They just prove you crazy, because this your quarterback right here. Now, let's talk about you don't want your quarterback right here. See, that's what happened in the draft. Shedeur was their quarterback. But you know what? Never mind. They was never going to get him. They was never going to get him. And they over there trying to find a way to make him look bad. Now, people say they losing to get draft picks. I swear, if they trade these picks, I'm going to just fall out laughing on the floor, because that's what they did last year. They won 3 games last year. They had the number 2 pick. Shedeur was supposed to be it. They traded that pick and got Dillon. Why? So they could lose. They didn't have to rig nothing for Dillon to lose. But since pressure is forcing us to play Shedeur, we got to rig this. I'm like, y'all crazy. Who does that? Like, who just voluntarily invites an indictment into their life? There are people who have been indicted for the same thing. And 13, 72, and 68, and Stefanski, and some other people, they don't seem to be worried about it. I wonder how they sleep at night. Because if every time I see some type of law enforcement, I would be a little nervous. I would be a little nervous. And then I would just go study some past scandals and look at how the people at the higher up try to get off by blaming the people at the bottom. Stefanski's at the bottom. He ain't the boss. He might not be at the bottom, because that's where the players are and the staff, but he's not in the owner's circle. And I happen to believe they will protect themselves. I mean, all this talk about Andrew Barrett taking over, I'm just saying. That sounds like Stefanski. I mean, Haslam moving on. That's what it sounds like. It said that made me mad so bad when I saw the kicker throw the ball. That was crazy. That was the snapper. That was the snapper, not the kicker. The kicker looked confused. That was the one holding the ball. It said, I agree that the Browns higher up are allowing the sabotage. Yup, that's it. That's it. It said even a friend that wasn't watching the Browns game before today saw that the O-line and the coach was against Shedeur. Right. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. And the media want to talk about Shedeur, but they don't want to talk about the criminal activity. How many times have y'all heard me say the effort to hold back Shedeur Sanders on the Cleveland Browns is criminal? Now you see what I'm saying? And we got 2 games left, and they're going to have to figure something out, because the fans ain't playing. The fans ain't playing about Shedeur. That's why, you know, the people on the internet, that's them little analysts, media. That's the people that's supposed to push the narrative. The people in the stands that was booing when Dillon came out, they have let you know under no certain terms do you ever put him out here again. They didn't waste no time. They was like, wait, what? And they waste no time. They waste no time. They waste absolutely no time. Let me see if I still have this. Somebody put this out here, and it was funny to me. It's a meme. Hold on, it's a meme with Squidward from SpongeBob, and they were trying to say that the moment Dylan sticks his toe out to come on the field, people start booing before they even know what's going on. I don't see it right now, but no, I think I know who had it. I think I was like, now this is funny. This is funny. I've never seen the meme before, but I don't see it. I have to share it at another time, I guess. Oh, this is it right here. I have to share it at another time because, I mean, it was spot on because those people didn't waste no time booing today. And if y'all have kids that like SpongeBob, y'all probably know it when y'all see it. This is it right here. Okay, so I can share it. I can share it. Let's see. One thing I will say, Shedeur managed to do really good was just Harold Petty Jr., Quashawn before he got injured, the running back room before he got injured. But I think the game plan was for him not to go with these long passes. See, they trying to restrict his ability to ball out so he don't look great. And that tells you they want to use that to justify bypassing him again. They bypassed him in the draft. They was going to get him, and they cut him like bait when everybody else had their guy. So now that they have him, they want to justify doing something asinine. And that's either making him QB3, drafting another Dylan so they can lose next year in peace, or trading him. They're trying to make sure that we don't believe that anybody believes that he's the guy. They don't just lose games. Because if you wanted to lose games, you don't send people to fall on Shedeur. You don't do that. There's a lot of ways to lose games. You ain't got to fall on your quarterback to lose a game. You're trying to hurt your quarterback so he's not QB1. So that's the goal. That's more so the goal, I think, because they already have 2 first-round picks. How many do you want? And what you gonna do with them? So you're gonna get you already got a whole defense. You already got a stacked running back room. You need receivers and O-linemen. You already have 10 picks. So I know they're not taking because they didn't get rid of nobody. The Jets are taking. They don't want Shedeur to be the guy. So they'd rather lose with Shedeur. And Stefanski don't want Shedeur to win one more game than Dylan. How many games has Dylan won? 1. How many games has Shedeur won? 1. That's why they didn't want 3 more points. If Shedeur would have just won this game, it's 1 game more than Dylan. Even though the fans already told them how they feel about Dylan. But if Shedeur only not won this game, they barely lost this game. They didn't even have to win it. They were within 3. And everybody already saw the Rob touchdowns. It wasn't even a fake punt. I don't even know what you call that. Because you didn't try to throw it to nobody to score. So you weren't even trying to score. That ain't even a fake punt. That's just fraud. Fraudulent plays so you can lose. And we got 2 games left. And the public let it be known how they feel about Dylan. So listen for the narrative with everybody coming and telling you the same thing. And whatever they echoing, whatever they are repeating, that's where they trying to go. Look for it. It's Christmas week. They're going to try to slide in something. The game is on the 28th. They might wait to the last minute. But they're going to try to slide in something. Because they don't want Shedeur to be seen as the guy. That's too late. It's too late for that. They don't know when to quit. That's their problem. Enron. Just think about it. If you don't know what Enron's scandal is, look it up. ENRON Corporation. Look up that scandal. That costs people their 401ks. And it was bad. It was bad. But it started with the whistleblower. And it got everybody all the way up to the top. Yep. Somebody say, I looked it up. I guess I'm wrong. What's that? By Dylan Gabriel. I know that's right. It said, I wonder why the kicker tried to be a QB. Yeah. Cheated since 2020. Probably. That's probably the case. If they care about winning, they will bring Deion Sanders to coach the team. You know, the voices are getting louder about Deion being the next coach. There's somebody out there actually speculated it and trying to show that that's where that's headed. It's a guy. I don't know who he is. I think I saw him on IG. Y'all will probably see it if you just look up the Shedeur Sanders. I didn't save it. Again, I heard it and kept it pushing, right? But there are people that, and I already said that's what I want to happen. I want all of this corruption gone, right? And seeing Haslam take a step back, supposedly Barry take a step forward, hopefully they're not playing in his face. I think that's what needs to happen. And considering that we cheated Shedeur in the draft, we got to make that right. So why not just hire Coach Prime? I mean, we already know that that's going to work, right? But are the Browns ready to win? Are they just ready to make changes in the front office so Haslam isn't accountable for firing Stefanski because he don't seem like he want to, like he's scared? And I'm going to let Andrew Berry do the dirty work. You know, people hire people just to go fire other people. It happens. So we're going to see. But I do think that's what should happen. And they should just clean house and let Coach Prime bring a winning culture there. Just get rid of everybody. Cheating is what the mediocre do. Agreed. If you can't beat them, cheat them. If you can't beat them, cheat them. That's facts. Shedeur is the best. Yeah. It said Flowers fumbled the ball. Oh, are y'all watching the Ravens? Stefanski's there reckoning is coming. It said God will not be mocked at all. The question is, will he turn on Haslam? There you go. There you go. And I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to get myself out of here. That's the question. We all know God will not be mocked. We already know God is letting us see all the way to the top how far the corruption goes. That's the only purpose of Kevin Stefanski still being there from an outside perspective. So, okay, we already know you cheating. We already know you rigging games. We know you should have been fired. Now, we already know you working with the right guard, the right tackle. We know you working with the left guard, the left tackle. Now we know you're working with the snapper of the ball to not get 3 points. Who else you working with? That's what we're going to learn through these last 2 games. All right, y'all. So I'm going to get out of here. I hope y'all enjoyed today's podcast. I hope y'all enjoyed. We actually got a chance to go live. I think, was it late in the first quarter? Or was it the second quarter? I don't remember. But we didn't start at the beginning, but it was fun. It ended well. So I've taken the podcast and I've dissected the interviews, or I guess you could say the videos, the clips, and I put them out there for y'all to go watch in short form. And you can watch the clips you want to watch, however many times you want to watch it. If you're traveling, just hit play out. Just hit play out. Okay, y'all. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to leave it on a good note because Bridget is correct. Stefanski's day of reckoning is coming. God will not be mocked. The question is, will he turn on Haslam? Because I believe the same scandal that hit the Enron Corporation, if you study business, you know what I'm talking about, is what's getting ready to hit the Cleveland Browns all the way to the top. All right. So I'll see y'all later. Whistleblowers. That's what's going to get it done. Thanks for watching what she said sports. I'll see y'all later on. And I mean whistleblowers from the inside of the organization. That's what it's going to take. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you. And 234 of us hit the like button. Y'all have a good one. Merry Christmas if y'all going off and I don't see y'all no more. We're going to have a modified schedule. I'm going to figure out what it is when I know what it is. But I know we're going to modify it. So y'all enjoy time, family, friends, or if you just in active solitude and spending time alone, that's fine. That's fine. It don't matter. You're never alone. God is always there. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. See y'all later, everybody.